Coming at you from the madness that is my Altezza. My name is Dave, and yeah, I just can't leave things alone.
So what happened was, I decided to put ITBs on my Altezza. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, but trusted what I found on the internet, and as a result, I made some mistakes. The first mistake was connecting the PCV to the vacuum block. That's a no-no because it ends up being a giant indirect vacuum leak. I figured that out the hard way with some help from my viewers and fixed it by connecting the PCV to a catch tank. After that, I thought I was good to go, so I paid to have the car tuned. But it was acting weird, unstable and unpredictable. Regardless of that, I took the car for a drive in the mountains, and while at altitude, the car was leaning out at idle to the point that it was conking out. But when I got home, it was back to its normal shenanigans. Weird. Long story short, it turned out to be another vacuum leak, this time from the charcoal canister. How'd you figure that out, I hear you asking? Well, it wasn't from common sense, I can assure you of that, because the charcoal canister should never have been connected to the vacuum block in the first place. It's an indirect vacuum leak, the same as the PCV. But how did you figure it out? For some reason I blew into the hose leading to the charcoal canister and there was no resistance. I was like, So I disconnected the charcoal canister, blocked the port for the vacuum block, and the car wouldn't idle at all anymore. I know what you're saying. How does that work? Well, without going into too much detail, the car was tuned with that vacuum leak in the mix. The air-fuel mixture was being calculated with that extra air in it. When I blocked the leak, that reduced the amount of air going into the engine and increased the vacuum that the computer was seeing at idle, so it didn't know what to do. Similarly, when that vacuum leak experienced pressure changes because of the altitude, that also changed what the computer was seeing and messed everything up. So after figuring that out, I took the car back to the tuners expecting them to just essentially slide the scale of what the computer should expect to see at idle, and that should solve the problem. Sadly for my wallet though, they said it wasn't that simple and they had to completely redo the tune. Anyway, here we are. Vacuum block is now sealed, unless I have a problem with the brake booster. Realistically, the brake booster shouldn't even be connected to it. There really should be a separate port on the ITBs that the booster can connect to so that if it fails, it won't affect what the ECU sees. But I digress. The problem I'm left with is that the charcoal canister is just open to free air, and that won't pass the Japanese road inspection. So I have to plumb that into the airbox. Easy enough, so let's complicate things a little.
I'm going to shorten the air intake temperature sensor wire because it's 7 kilometers long now. And what I've done is I've got an adapter which is 4mm to 6mm, poked it through and then drowned the whole lot in silicon. If you recall, I wasn't happy with the way it was done. They glued the grommet in, like they used a bit of super glue, which I'm not a fan of. I'm just going to trim this off. Done. And yeah, happy with this now. Oh, I see. The silicon's not dry yet on the inside. Making a mess. It's dry on the outside, not dry on the inside, so I'm gonna have to leave that. Leave it overnight, come back to it. I'm thinking I want to take that much out of it just to tidy it up so the wire isn't so long. It is only 2 wires. It's not a difficult thing to do. I'd really like to take even more off, honestly, and take off as much as I want. If I remove this conduit, yeah, I want to take that much out. So cutters, soldering iron, and some heat shrink. Trim that off, that's what we'll end up with. I might even go closer, that's probably enough. A little bit longer isn't going to hurt. Bit of heat shrink. I've actually misplaced the plug. I don't know what I've done with it. How did I lose it? I don't know, but it's gone. It's in a pocket. It's not in a pocket. I've somehow managed to lose the pigtail that goes from, oh, there it is, it's on the ground. I see it. I don't know how it fell down there, but I got it. Need to put our heat shrink on so we don't forget it. 1 and 2. Brown goes to brown, as easy as it can get. Can't get any easier than brown to brown. We're going to do these one at a time. Tin the tip. Create a heat bridge. Drag your solder across as fast as you can. And you're done. And you almost it. Yep, good. Tin the tip. Create a heat bridge. And drag your solder across. Done. In and out. Matter of seconds. If you're there for 5 minutes, you up. Look, it's burning me, but it's not that bad. Burn myself to prove a point. Right, hopefully these fuel vapors ignite. Okay, slide this up here. Excellent. Need a little bit of conduit, which I had somewhere.
6.5 hours later.
Was stuck to my foot. Okay, I'm gonna get this done. I don't think the silicon's dry, but I just want it done. Can dry in place. Right. Give you a close-up of what that looks like in there. Looks like that. The hose that comes out the bottom tucks onto here, but I can't do it while I'm holding the camera. So I'm going to put the camera down and then get this done. There we go, all legal. We're all legal, suddenly. Suddenly legal. This could use some tape, in my opinion. It's not my expert opinion, because I'm not an expert. Spurt on eggs. I actually want to go under that. So I'm gonna undo everything I did here, just so I can go underneath the brake lines. Seriously? Yep, seriously. Can't help myself. Gotta have it the way I want it, otherwise I'm not happy. I want to trim this a little bit. It's a bit long. That's much more perfecter. Now I can put this in. Plug it in because I might not be able to do it later. Okay, that's back together. Look at this. Looks pretty good in there. Catch tank's gone. Catch tank's under there. I actually haven't tried to fit this since I painted it. Hopefully it doesn't ruin it. It used to fit. There we go. Looks pretty damn good.